How's it going, everyone? It's TrulyMystic, and in today's video we're going over the top 10 best features introduced in Fortnite Chapter 2. Now, basically, this video is going to be any game mechanics, any sort of concepts that they introduced in Fortnite Chapter 2, and be ranked from 1 to 10. We're going to talk about why some of these features were so good and how they impacted the game moving forward. So what better way to celebrate Fortnite Remix Chapter 2 than looking back at some of the things that Fortnite implemented in this chapter that, in my opinion, really shook up the game for the better. Now, if you don't see something on this list that you were expecting, that either means that it didn't make the cut, or it will be going in a top 10 worst features introduced in Fortnite Chapter 2 list. This list is also going to be primarily about Battle Royale, and we are going to be ranking these based on how much they have changed the game for the better and what I find as a great concept. And so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with an honorable mention before we move on to the top 10, we have the gold bar system. The gold bar system introduced in Chapter 2 Season 5 was either implemented for the better or for the worse. You see, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. For the season that it was introduced, it kind of made sense, but keeping it moving forward didn't really to me. It's a nice currency, but unfortunately moving forward it took away vending machines and upgrade benches. Nowadays you'd have to collect these gold bars from eliminating players or opening things like cash registers or safes, and use them to purchase things like rifts, weapons, heals, any kind of item, etc. And so I don't really like that everything now uses gold, but regardless it's still a very useful feature in the game. And so for that, it's sitting here at the honorable mentions. Now, coming in at number 10 to start it off, we have the Mythic Goldfish. Or to be more specific, the Mythic Goldfish concept. In my opinion, I think that the Mythic Goldfish defines what mythic rarity is. It is incredibly obscure and holds this concept of a super rare item that is almost impossible to find. Things like this and the golden mushroom make Fortnite extremely fun in the idea that you could potentially, and I mean it's very rare, but potentially come across this in your game. And when someone does, it's always fun to see it be posted online. The fact that it's so rare too means that it's an incredibly powerful item. The Mythic Goldfish can one-shot someone. However, you have to hit your shot with it, and if you miss, you'll drop it and the other player has an opportunity to pick it up and use it against you. It's just a really awesome concept. I mean, sometimes you don't even know if the Mythic Goldfish is in a season or not. I think it's something that Epic needs to consider bringing more of for the future of the game. But we're not done yet, as coming in at number 9, we have another feature that I think Fortnite really needs to bring back, or at least a type of feature, the Wall of Water Storm. If you guys remember, back in Chapter 2 Season 2, right after the device event happened, we got a giant tsunami of water, which replaced the old storm that we used to have. It was a feature only in game for 2 days, but it really shook it up. It was fun and creative. The fact that if you got swallowed into this, you'd start swimming up and be launched out of it, dying to fall damage. It's so cool and creative, and it's really weird that Epic doesn't change up the storm more often. Imagine the storm being able to be different elements, I don't know, like fire or lava. I just find it kind of odd that this is something that they haven't dove into as much yet. It would be really cool if they brought it back for this season, but considering that we're almost already halfway in, it might not be the case. Either way though, would love to see more things like this, but I would also love to see more things like our number 8 entry, the Bandage Bazooka. Playing Chapter 2 Remix again really has ignited my love for this thing. It is unique in the way that it takes up 2 slots, but is incredibly balanced. I think we need more 2-slotted weapons / items in Fortnite. Like if it's gonna take up 2 slots, you know that the item has to be extremely useful. And the Bandage Bazooka does exactly that. It's one of the best forms of heals in the game. Functionality wise, the fact that you can use it with your teammates as well is such a huge plus. I mean, this item is almost sought after in competitive, and watching the bandages fly to your opponent as they get healed is just a really cool sight to see. So glad that they came up with the concept for the Bandage Bazooka, and I really hope that we get more of it in game. I think the Chug Cannon is a great bonus, but I could see many more possibilities incorporated into this bazooka format. Anyways, let's move on. Coming in at number 7, we have the exotics. The exotics are a fun and quirky combination of weapons or items, and honestly, I really would love to see more of these. I mean, you have so many things, from a sniper rifle that can shoot clingers to a shotgun that can boost you up. When the exotics first came out in Chapter 2 Season 5, I think that I can speak for many that they were a blast to play with. So much so that they were brought back in some form every chapter. I mean, they're called exotic for a reason, and they're not as strong as mythic weapons or even some legendary weapons. They're just fun and viable enough for players to pick them up and use them during their games. I really hope that in Chapter 6 we get more exotics, as when they were introduced in Chapter 2, they were honestly one of the best parts. And that's why it sits at number 7. But moving on to number 6, we have a probably arguably more important mechanic, fishing. I think fishing is a very underutilized part in Fortnite. The fact that you can get heals for free with just a fishing rod and water near you is incredible. There is such a large variety of fish out there that Epic refuses to use in their games. We always have the same flopper, small fry, and slurp fish combo, but there's literally so many more. I would love to see the fishing collection brought back, and could you imagine a season where almost every single fish is in-game? I just loved going around the map back in Chapter 2 and going to specific locations to get different colored fish. And can we just say RIP to the Pro Fishing Rod, as it allowed you to obtain many of these different kinds of fish. I feel like fishing a lot of the time is overlooked and maybe not a lot of players use them, but in competitive this feature is really amazing. But honestly, I think a feature more amazing than that is our number 5 entry, the upgrade benches. Why won't Epic just give us the upgrade benches again? The best form of upgrading weapons in Fortnite. They were simple, used mats for upgrades. I don't know why they removed them. I think it's a lot more confusing now to go around and talk to NPCs or use vending machines or open cases of weapons in bunkers, and it's just, no dude, upgrade benches are where it's at. The distribution around the map was all around perfect. The fact that you can take your blue pump, get a couple mats, and upgrade it all the way to a legendary spaz was just, chef's kiss. Seeing the upgrade benches back in remix mode really makes me happy, and I severely hope that the upgrade benches make a return in Chapter 6. Maybe some new form of them, we'll just have to wait and see. But now we move on to our number 4 entry. Coming in at number 4, we have the vault system. The vault system is surprisingly a staple of Fortnite now. I know, it's insane. It's almost in every season, and there's a reason for that. High risk, high reward. Landing at a certain location, defeating that boss, getting their mythic weapon and the key card to unlock a vault that could potentially be contested by many other players at that spot. Why wouldn't you want to land there? Once you open that vault, you have access to pretty much all the loot you're gonna need for the rest of the game. There's so much loot in these vaults that they're great for every single mode, solos, duos, trios, and squads. The different bosses that Fortnite has come up with, I mean, come on, Midas, it can't get any better than that. Like I said, there's a reason that this has been included in almost every single season/chapter after it was first introduced in Chapter 2, Season 2. I could go on and on about the vault system, but you get the point. I don't think it'll ever go away anytime soon. Props for Epic for adding a system that just works extremely well. From keycards to medallions, whatever you may have it, I think this system will be here to stay for a very, very long time. Now, we are on our top 3. And are you guys able to guess the number 3 entry? I don't think you can, because this is a feature that isn't talked about enough. Coming in at number 3, we have the carrying feature. Being able to carry your opponents or teammates anywhere during their revive status. It's very overlooked upon because this is something that we got introduced in Chapter 2 Season 1 and has literally remained in Fortnite ever since. You have to remember that back then, you couldn't carry your teammate. If they died in another room in the same house that you were in, they had to crawl all the way to get to you. And if they got spotted by an enemy, it was GG's for them. Now, I could see why some people might not think this is a top 3 entry, because honestly, carrying doesn't change a whole lot. In fact, it could be worse to carry someone because once you're in the carrying animation and start bringing them to a safer location, you are way more susceptible to get shot as well as the teammate that you're carrying. However, I think the benefits severely outweigh the cons of being able to carry your teammates and enemies. When team killing got removed from the game, your teammates could basically crawl on top of a gun until they got revived, and you wouldn't be able to get that loot. Also, sometimes your teammate might be stuck or in a weird position, and you might not be able to revive them there. But the freedom to pick someone up and move them to a safer location is incredibly useful. There's also the memes that you get for being able to pick someone up and yeet them off a high height. It created many funny moments in Fortnite history, and all around I think it is a great feature to put up on the top 3 section. But coming in at number 2, we have the shakedown system. Scan your enemies for any of their teammates nearby. This honestly should be a staple in Fortnite, but surprisingly, it isn't. It was finally brought back for this season, and once you use it, you remember how good this feature was. I mean, yeah, I get why it isn't a staple feature, as sometimes it can be a little too good, but you can't lie that the shakedowns were just simple and effective. They were well balanced. I mean, if you took the time to shake down someone, you would be stuck in that animation. And if their teammate is running up on you, you'll be dead in just a couple seconds. I think shakedowns added a whole lot more to the game than just killing someone and finishing them off. It's one of the best features that they introduced in Chapter 2, period, and that's why it sits at number 2. But of course, the best one is going to be number 1. So, what is that number 1 spot? Well, coming in at our number 1 spot for the top 10 best features introduced in Fortnite Chapter 2, we have swimming. A lot of you might take this number 1 spot for granted, but you can't lie, this is a fact. They've kept it ever since for every chapter/season afterwards. Swimming allowed water to actually be implemented into Fortnite. Not just like Loot Lake where you'd have to build or jump slowly across it with the fear of getting sniped. Not like falling off the edge of the map and being eliminated just because you fell into an ocean. The streams that we have now are incredibly great for mobility. Diving up and down to avoid shots and maneuver in case you don't have any mats. Rotating to the next zone without causing too much of a commotion and alerting your enemies. I think swimming is such an incredible concept. Sometimes it can get you eliminated, but would you rather be walking and running the entire game? It had to have come eventually, and for the start of Chapter 2 Season 1, I think it came at a great time. Motorboats, fishing. I mean, Chapter 2 Season 1 was basically like a water update. I mean, there's also the fact that, yeah, you could drown in the water, but it's highly unlikely. And even if you get knocked, you are in a little floating raft, so you won't be able to drown and you could possibly swim to your teammate. It also helps you from fall damage. I think that's a big plus. And just overall, it's a phenomenal feature. It only makes sense that this is put at number 1. And with all that being said, that's going to be it. My top 10 best features introduced in Fortnite Chapter 2 list. Let me know, do you guys agree? Is there anything that you think I missed that should be put onto this video? Like I said, if you think that there's something I missed, it could have either not made the cut or it'll go on a different list, which will be the worst features introduced in Fortnite Chapter 2. Anyways, it was very nice looking back at Chapter 2, and it's nice to see most of these features make a return for the current season, Fortnite Remix Chapter 2. I want to thank all of you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and use code TrulyMystic in the item shop if you want to support me there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will catch you in the next one. It's Truly Mystic. Until then, peace.